Today we'll discuss the Agile Framework. So Agile means, as we mentioned yesterday, that we have, if we have a 6 month of project, one sprint is called one cycle. You see, this is one sprint, two sprint, three sprint. So it is continuous up to the end of the project life. And one sprint can be up maximum 1 month. You cannot extend a sprint more than a month. Yeah. So for example, if this is maximum, so this is a 3-month project. Each month, one sprint can be maximum 1 month. So each sprint, what they do: plan, design, develop, test, deploy, and then review, and then later launch, and then later plan, design again and again. So they are doing the same things again and again and deliver the product. So we'll discuss today about the sprint framework, how they do. Agile and sprint Scrum are the it's kind of framework things. This one, Scrum framework. In the Scrum, you will see, I'm coming to this slide again. So in the Scrum, there is three roles. There is 3 roles. One is product owner, then Scrum master, and then developers. So developers who has the technical knowledge, capability, and quality. That means who is writing the code actually. And the product owner is the sponsor, the voice of the customer. They set the vision, set the priority, and set the business needs. I can say product owner, he take care of the business side of the product, and he will give you the requirement of the product, how it will look like, and which task needs to be prioritized to complete. And the Scrum Master leader who serves continuous improvement. The Scrum Master, you will be the Scrum Master. You will make a bridging between product owner and the developers. Okay, again, in here, if there is any question that in the Scrum, in the product log, who sets the priority? It is product owner. No one can set the priority, only the product owner. So in here, Scrum rules, 3 roles: product owner, Scrum Master, developer, and then 5 events. This is the 5 events. And then 3 artifacts. These are the artifacts. So these are the artifacts in here. So artifact means product backlog, sprint backlog, and product increment. The product, let me see. So product backlog, this one. So it comes from the product owner. Product owner means it can be executive, any team members, stakeholders, customers, users. They give the requirement, and the product owner come, he put the different kind of requirement in a list. For example, website home feature, then contact us feature, then map feature, then article feature, login information, registration information, all the things he said it, and then he also ranked list of what is required, feature and story. So he ranked the features, and then sprint planning after the product backlog. Product backlog is the list of the requirement, and the team come, Scrum Master and the developer come, and they take the more priority task and then make a plan how to accomplish this. For example, they say that okay, in this sprint we will do website home feature and then article feature, for example. Then they take this requirement and put it in the sprint backlog. So the sprint backlog is the chunk of the product backlog. The product backlog, you can say, is a it's an huge silo, and sprint backlog is something like a bucket. So you are taking one bucket and then take it, and then you are working this bucket until complete. Again, when the bucket is done, again you come and take some something from the silo and then complete. It's like something like that. So each bucket is the sprint things. So sprint backlog means you are taking some task 1, 2, 3, and you take this. You say that okay, we will complete this 1, 2, 3 task this sprint, and this sprint can be 1 to 4 week. That means minimum 1 week and maximum 1 month. Yeah. Sprint in date and team developer do not change. So they are saying that if you fixed the in date, it cannot be changed. Again, the team, the sprint team, they cannot be changed. It's constant. Also, sprint duration is constant. For example, if you run a sprint of 2 weeks, the other sprint should be 2 weeks in duration. It cannot be, for example, you said that this is 1 month, the other will be 2 weeks, other will be 3 weeks. It cannot be like that. It should be fixed duration of each sprint. If you said 2 weeks, every sprint should be 2 weeks, right? So 1 to 4 week sprint, and every 24 hours, that means every day, the team members and the Scrum Master, they do daily Scrum meeting, as we discussed before. So in the daily Scrum meeting, they will say that what you did yesterday, what you will do today, and do you have any impediment? 3 questions: yesterday, today, and impediment or blockers. And the Scrum Master, he track all the Scrum performance using the burn down chart or burn up chart. This is the team performance, what is called measurement types of tools. I will show the burn down and burn up chart later. So, and then when they complete the sprint, the next event is the sprint review. That means they develop the product. Now stakeholder come, you see the stakeholder comes, and the Scrum Master, they come, and the developers also come in here, and they start the review of their deliverable. So they inspect, is there any issue, or also they collect the feedbacks from the product owner, and they also find out any fault things. It's like inspection, and then adoption. So if there is an issue, they will adopt it. Also, they collect the feedback from the product owner. And after that, when they finish the review, then there is another event. It's called sprint retrospective that we mentioned before. Retrospective means what we did right things, what we do wrong things, or what was the best method to apply. Right, wrong, and best method. So they learn, and then it's called sustainable development, and they find out the best method to apply, and then after that they again do this sprint again. So in there, after that, there is called one term backlog refinement. Backlog refinement after this spring retrospective, they come in here. They say that okay, I guess this feature is less important, or this feature is more important, something like that. Or they feel that okay, we planned that we need 8 requirements, but actually in the field, when we do the work, we find out that we need 15 requirement. The requirement can be more and more. So initially we plan like 8 requirement, but after doing the one sprint, we find out that we need more work. The requirement goes to 15 requirement. So that means you are inspecting and then adapting the change, right? So this is the more core things of the agile. Agile, they always welcome the change, but in the waterfall, you cannot change the things easily. Yeah. Okay, so here we need to find out that's okay. So there, this is the Scrum, and the event is called Sprint. And from their product backlog, this is the product backlog. They prioritize is based on that importance. This is the most more important than this one, so they reprioritize it. And then after that, the team members, developer, they make an sprint planning. After that, they build a sprint backlog, that which type of item they need to accomplish. And then so every day, for example, they do this item, then next day they do this item, then the other day this is called daily scrum. It's a 24 hours of event, and daily scrum should be 15 minutes in duration. And then later, after the sprint backlog, if the product is finished, they do the sprint review. And there is a term called definition of done, DOD, definition of done. So DOD means they have certain checklist. For example, you build the website, then they check that okay, home feature is developed, then there is no bugs, the software is running smoothly, or there is no loading issue. So there are something criteria that they need to inspect for the deliverables, and this is called definition of done. And the deliverable is called increment. Increment means, as we discuss in here, every sprint they develop some small chunk of the product. So one chunk, two chunk, three chunk, after the end they will build the whole things. So that's why they are said that this is increment. And then after that, they do the sprint retrospective, and then later they do the refinement in here. So only the product owner can prioritize this requirement. Scrum Master or the developer team, they cannot prioritize this item, only the product owner. So you will get some question. If product owner, they do not want to prioritize the items, what should, as a Scrum Master, what should you do? You should educate the product owner. You should give the training. You should give an why it is important for the project. You should give some explanation, because in the Agile, they believe that if you complete the more important thing in the upfront, then sometimes the less important thing you do not need to at the end of the project. If your budget is cut, you don't need the less important things. So they do the important things in the first, and if there is any issue, they don't think about the non-important things later. Okay, so Scrum team, we have 3 roles: product owner, Scrum Master, and the developer. Then we have 3 artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, and then increment. And then we have 5 events: sprint planning, daily scrum, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and the sprint as a sprint. 5 things. So artifacts means it's kind of tangible things. If you see the dictionary word tangible. So when you see the artifact, that means this is the activity. Like you are doing some meetings, you do not find any tangible things. This kind of planning types of things. So artifact is kind of something list in here. You say product backlog, sprint backlog, increment. This is kind of tangible things. And these are the events that are not tangible. And these are the roles in here. Okay, so the next one, Scrum Framework at a glance in here. So product owner, who will be the product owner? Executive, user, stakeholder, team, customers provide input to the product owner. So product owner comes the requirement from these people, that how the product should look like. And the product owner, he comes, product owner ranks the list of the what is required, feature and story. He rank it based on the priority. And then sprint planning and sprint backlog. This is the team. So in here you see that the Scrum Master in here. So Scrum Master will attend this event, sprint planning and sprint backlog. And then later in the daily Scrum meeting, there will be Scrum Master and then product owner in there. And then sprint review, all of them are there. Product owner, Scrum Master, all of them there. Sprint retrospective, then sprint shippable product increment, all of them. So in here you will find some types of question that in the daily Scrum meeting, which type of team members should be included in here? Product owner, Scrum Master, developers, all of them. So it will be all of them. Then in the sprint planning and sprint backlog, who should attend the sprint planning meeting? There will be 2 or 3 options, but in here you see that product owner do not attend in here, except this one, sprint planning and sprint backlog. The product owner is involved all other events. Daily Scrum meeting, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and the increment is involved with other events. So remember this: sprint planning and sprint backlog, product owner is not involved. The rest of the events, product owner is involved with the Scrum Master and the developers. Okay, so and for the burn down chart and burn up chart, let me see. Okay. Okay. So can you see the chart in here? It is a burn down chart, and there is another burn up chart. So burn down means it is going to down, and burn up means it's going to up. So in here, usually uh, they do in the waterfall. Usually we estimate the project using the cost estimation, some kind of cost. Define we break down the task using the work breakdown structure, and then from there we calculate the cost for each of the work package, right? In the agile, what we do, we say it's called story point. Story point means they uh, they compare, they divide the task and then compare the task with some kind of standard. There are different kinds of standard, like they call one process called t-shirt method. T-shirt method means like we have small, medium, large, excel. Yeah. So for example, if the task needs more types of work, they can put it in the Excel size. If it is less, they need less attention, it will be the small size. And based on that, they have some types of point, and they calculate the point using Fibonacci chart, Fibonacci number. Fibonacci number is like 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, then 8. So it's like Fibonacci number comes in a series, and it is the next one will be the summation of the previous two one. For example, 1 and 2. The next one will be
3.
3. If you summation 1, 2, 3 summation, and then after that, the next one will be next one 5, like 3 and 2. It
Okay,
will be 5. Okay, and then 5 and then
5
3.
and then you add then 1, 2, 3 and then 5. Okay, you add that 8. Right.
Yeah, and then 8 and then 5. It will be
13.
13. Yeah, it's called Fibonacci number. So they put the Fibonacci number based on the t-shirt size. For example, if the small is 1, then medium is 2, and then large will be 3, then excel will be 5.
5.
So they categorize the work like that. For example, if I said that, okay, if I want to cook rice, it is a small task, right? But if I say that I want to do some rice curry, sorry, chicken curry, then the work needs more, right? And if I say that I don't want to cook lamb curry, so something it's
Yes.
related to the cost, related to the efforts.
Mhm.
So you are categorizing different point. So it is a t-shirt method. Another is called poker. It's a playing card method. Poker means if you think that you will win the game, you are put some point on there. Like if you feel that you will win the game, you are giving more money, something like that. So you are judging based on the what you are guessing. So in the Agile, so the Scrum Master, he give a task, for example, website registration feature. So the team member will give different point. So for example, one team member said that registration, it will take 5 point. Other member will give that, okay, it will take probably more 8 point. Other will say that, okay, it will take 3 point. So it will then later the Scrum Master will decide which point it will be. So usually they do some good estimation so that they will not make the lose. Again, they do not want to make more story points so that it will not overestimate it. It should be optimum. Okay, so for example, I need to do, for example, 230 story point, right? So they are saying that remaining effort 230, and then from day 0, it is 230. Then day 1, this is the ideal condition. We are thinking that the project should be done in day 21, right? This is the completed task, this one, and then this is the remaining. This is the remaining things. This is the ideal burn down that we are thinking we will complete all the tasks in day 21, and then this is the remaining task. This is the remaining one. So all of the day are not the same. So sometimes the team work more, sometimes they complete less. Depends on different types of activities. So it's like they are doing, sometimes they do in here the hour is 230. Then they do some work in here. For example, they work 10 hours, or in here they do not work that much. In here they work again more. So when they work, then the point will be reduced or to 0, something like that. For example, if I say that I want to go to my home to workplace, it will take 30 minutes. When I start from my home, um, it is countdown from 30 minutes. Then I'm driving 30 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It is when I reach my work destination, it will be 0 minutes, right? So it's similar the things. You have the some total hours or total points, and when you will start working, it will be goes down. It is called burn down chart. So in here there is a definition. I'm not sure you're saying it. Burn down chart or uh, burn down chart is a graphical representation of work left to do versus the time. So work left to do, that means how much work we have. The outstanding work is open on the vertical axis in here, and the time along the horizontal axis. Burn down charts are a run chart of outstanding work. It is useful for predicting when all of the work will be completed. When all of the work will be completed, you can predict from this chart. For example, in day 10, you are in here, and you can guess when it will be done in here. So one other thing is called uh, team velocity. Team velocity means, for example, in the day 1, you do 5 hours of work. In the day 2, you did 6 hours of work. In day 3, you did 3 hours of work. And so after a week, you can have some estimation that each day how much work we are doing as a team. And after that, you can make it average, and then you can predict how much work we will do in the next week, right? It's called velocity. That means how the team is performing, and you can predict based on that. Yeah. So in the burn down chart, we will know how much work left to do, right? And in the burn up chart is the opposite one. So burn up chart is shows project progress over the time. It shows the project progress. Like in here, there are two main lines on the chart, one for the total project work planned and the other for tracking the work to the work complete to date. So this is the scope and this is the complete one. So scope means you are setting some kind of work items. For example, you are saying that this day we'll do these types of work and you are completing the task. And when you are completing it, you are the line is going to meeting in here. So when you will meet the scope line, then you are done. Your work is done. Here's something from the chart. Okay, here you can see that Burnup chart clearly shows both completed work and the project scope. This is the project scope in here, and these are the done. This is the done things, and this is the need to be do to do. So to do means you know the project scope, and you are thinking that if we go like that straight line, then we can meet in here. Usually in the field, when you apply, um, the work cannot be go as per plan, right? Sometimes it goes behind in here, sometimes go up. So they are saying that when you are below of this plan below, you are behind schedule. That means you are taking a long time. And when you are doing more work, then you are ahead of schedule. And then you are meeting in here. So when you will touch the scope things, that means you are done. Right? Okay. So in here, they are saying that the project will be completed when the line meets. So this line and this line meets. So this is the complete of work. To take this one. This is more informative. Okay, so this is the burn down and burn up chart. So you will get some questions based on that. And also you will get some of the graph related questions from there. Like they can say point A, point B, and then point C. And based on that, they will give the question that which point represent ahead of schedule. You need to find out. Then which point represent the work is completed in here. Which point represent the work is behind schedule in here. And which point represent the ideal scenario in here. Which point represent the scope. And which point represent the increase of the scope in here. You see, here we are guessing that it will take 120 story point, but in here the product owner comes and he give more tasks, so the story point get increased to 120 to 140, right? And then later there was some change and story point comes to 120. Yeah. Hello.
Have you said?
What is name?
Good. My name is Jane. Come here. Say hi.
Hey, yeah. This is Murad.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Good.
You're still, you need to sleep yet? Yeah, I have a son like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's, yeah.
It's going to get together.
So Nancy, are you?
Yeah.
Do you want to stop now or you're okay?
No, I'm okay. Can carry on 10 minutes or so.
Okay, sure. So,
Do you think
okay.
it will be like middle of the topic, or we can continue 10 minutes or so?
Yeah,
Else we can do tomorrow.
if we need only 10 minutes, I want to revise this one and want to discuss some of the questions from here.
Okay, we'll do that. Yes, let's do that.
So this is most important. If you understand this thing, the whole scenario, then I will say that you understand the agile things.
Okay, then let's do this.
Right, yeah. So the question will be first one. The question will be that who has the right to add or prioritize or change any requirement in the product backlog.
Product owner.
Product owner, right? Yeah. Remember this. He only has the right the things product in the he can change, he can add, he can prioritize in the product backlog. Scrum Master cannot do that. Developers cannot do that, but they can help them, but they cannot do that, right? And then the next one is the sprint planning. So in the sprint planning, team selects at top as much as it can commit to deliver by the end of sprint. So sometimes there are some questions like so it's called a team velocity. So they are saying that each sprint, the team velocity, they are thinking 20 points they can complete, right? And they take from here based on the requirement, they take, for example, 30 points, but the team can handle 20 points per sprint, and at the end they find out that 10 points left. So is this a good planning? Is this a good planning? No, it's not a good planning. So as a scrum
Repeat
master,
question once again.
for example, the team velocity is 20 point per sprint, for example. And when they start planning, they took 30 points from the product backlog. 30 points means 30 point worth of work. And after that, after sometimes they realize that they cannot complete 30 points. They can complete only 20 points. And the rest of the 10 point, they need to adjust it again. Is this a good plan? It's not a good plan, right? So the Scrum Master need to understand the team velocity, how much they can achieve, right? So team velocity is important things. So in here, the sprint planning is done by the Scrum Master and the developer. And then later they build sprint backlog. Sprint backlog means what type of work they will do in the next 1 month. So in the sprint backlog, they start the work and it is 1 to 4 week maximum. It can be 1 month, it can be 1 week, but usually they go 2 weeks of sprint usually. And when the sprint is running, you cannot change the duration. You cannot add anything in the sprint, and you cannot change any team members. This is constant. That means you cannot change inside the things. Although we are saying that agile is always welcome to change, but in the sprint you cannot change anything. It's fixed. So in the sprint duration is fixed. Sprint scope is fixed, and then team members are fixed. So when the team members they are starting working, if the product owner comes and give new requirement to the developer, as a sprint master, your responsibility is to protect anything disturbance from the outside to your team. For example, if the owner comes and he wants to talk with the developers, first he need to talk with Scrum Master and then go to the developers.
Okay.
Sometimes the Scrum Master handle the questions from the product owner, sometimes not, depend on what things. So also sometimes there will be some questions like that. The Scrum team, they are busy with doing some administrative work and the project work. And as a Scrum Master, you realize that you are falling behind. What should you do? You should reduce the administrative type of work from the Scrum team because they need to focus on the project work, right? So like that, in your organization, you are doing your project work. Also, you are doing some administrative work, office work, right? So they are saying that as a Scrum team, you need to be protected. You need to focus on the project work, but it's not the real things. You should need to do also administrative type of things. But as a Scrum Master, if the progress is not expected, then you can reduce the administrative type of work. And then later, daily Scrum meeting, how long it will be?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Remember that 15 minutes. And there will be some senior types of question. For example, one team member, he's speaking more and taking more than 15 minutes. As a Scrum Master, what should you do? You will separate the team member and then talk with him after the daily Scrum meeting, because Scrum meeting is only for 15 minutes, and in the meeting you will do what you did yesterday, what you will do today, what you do you have any impediments, any blockers. And as a Scrum Master, he will track the progress using the burn down chart and burn up chart, right? So burn down and burn up chart, it will be hanging in the Kanban board. We'll do about Kanban board later. And then after the product is done, then they do the sprint review, end of the sprint. That means it will be last week of the month, something like that. So in the sprint review, there will be Scrum Master, there will be product owner, there will be developers. So the team will collect the feedback from the product owner, and they will adopt, they will inspect, and then adapt. Right. So there are three words. One is called transparency, inspect, and adaptation. Transparency means you need to be transparent what you are doing. Like, do you familiar with the Kanban board? Kanban board. Okay. In the Kanban board, people usually put their work in progress, done, complete types of things in there. So anyone who wants to know the team is what are they doing, they can easily go and check the status. That means they are transparent. So one of the core things is as well as transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Inspection means in the deliverables, they will make the inspection. Are our deliverable is satisfying the product owner needs or not? Is there any issue? We need to fix it. And after that, if there is any issue, then they will adapt it. Right? Yeah. And then sprint, after the sprint review, they do sprint retrospective. Again in here, product owner, then Scrum Master and the team will be there. So in this retrospective, they will do what we did right, what we did wrong, or what is the best method, something like that. And then after that, they will make the product refinement. Refinement means they will add more tasks, prioritize it. They will reduce the task, something like that, based on their experience. So we have three roles. One is product owner, then Scrum Master, then developer. And then we have 5 events. 5 events. Events means something like the meeting, not tangible things. 5 events is here. 5 events is sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and the sprint. And then we have three artifacts. One is product backlog, another is the sprint backlog, and the increment. and there is a term called definition of done. It's called DOD, definition of done. Definition of done means you need to find out that what product owner wants and what we did. Then if there any documentation we need to fill up. Sometimes there are questions like that. As agile, usually the team do not make lots of documentation. But if the documentation is one of the acceptance criteria, what should the Scrum Master should include in here? So if the documentation is a acceptance criteria, he will put in the definition of done list. So definition of done means you make the deliverables, and after that you have to make the documentation. And if this is done, then you can say that okay, this is done. Pass, something like that. Okay, so product owner ranks the list of what is required. Then only the team members and the Scrum Master, they do the sprint planning and sprint backlog, and the rest of them are the product owner is involved. And then team selects in priority order from product backlog as much as it can commit to deliver by the end of the sprint. So who select the sprint backlog items? Who select? Team, right? Team selected. And who do the estimation? Story point, who do the estimation? Developers, because they will do the work. They give the estimation, not the product owner, right? So team select in priority product backlog as much as it can commit to deliver the work, and the developer do the work. After that, team deliverable. Okay. And then we discuss about the burn down chart and burn up chart. So burn down means or how much work left at the time.
Right.
Like in here, in the day 9, how much work we have left? Like we have left around 150 hours of work, right? The day 10, we have to do 150 hours of work, right? And then in day 20, it is the task is complete. We do not need to work any things like. So in the burn down chart, how much work we have left to do, and in the burn up chart, it shows the completed work and project scope. This is the project scope. This is the completed work, and this is the ideal condition then we need to achieve. If we are above it, we are ahead of schedule. If we are below it, behind the schedule, and if we are in here, we are done with our work. Right. All right. I think we are done.
Thank you.